everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tania. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a chit chat video. Recently Andri uploaded a video where she actually posed a question to us, her viewers, and if you follow me, I'm sure you follow Andri, and if you don't by any chance, head over to her channel. I'll have it linked below. She posed this question and asked us, do we think that YouTubers are show-offs? So those of us here in the luxury community, are we show-offs because we show our pretty bags, our SLGs, our jewelry, you know, like whatever it is that we want to show? Are we, therefore, because we are sharing these things with you, are we showing off? Now, Andri didn't necessarily create this as a tag video. However, in my comments to her, she responded and said, why don't you do your take on this? And I thought, oh, okay. I'm not sure how to handle this or how to take this on, simply because a little while ago, again, Andri raised another probing question about whether YouTubers are narcissistic. And I offered my opinion on that particular question. This one probably will touch on some of the elements that I spoke about in that previous video, which I'll also have linked below if you're interested. But today I'll be focusing on whether YouTubers are showing off. Now, I suppose the definition of showing off is one who is deliberately showing something in order to, let's say, evoke an emotion or to perhaps draw and attract attention of some kind. Now, usually showing off implies that you are really proud of something and you want to show it off, either yourself or something you've acquired, or maybe the story behind how you came to acquire that, or maybe even, and let's put it out there, just show off the fact that you can afford to acquire this particular item. Because let's face it, some of these items here that are, you know, I've got on display behind me, and other items that other YouTubers show, which I don't own because are very expensive. And I can see how some YouTubers would be seen as being show-offs or as showing off, as if to sort of say and flex in our faces, look at me, it's my birthday and I can afford a $20,000 haul. I can afford a $20,000 bag for my birthday. And then there are those who have, let's say, Christmas and then Valentine's Day and then a birthday soon after. And for each of these events, they're just showing either proudly or in a different capacity, and I can't speak for everyone, these items that someone would think is maybe distasteful or someone might think is showing off. So it depends, I suppose, on what your definition of showing off is. Now, when I think of showing off, and the way I was raised, showing off had a negative connotation. So if someone was showing off, it was for the purpose of drawing attention. Look at me, look at me, look at me, type of attitude.
Look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me, Kimmy.
Now, as I've gotten older, I've come to realize that showing off and or being proud of something or of an achievement or of an acquisition can overlap. So am I showing off per se when I talk to you about a recent bag I've purchased or will be showing one day? Am I showing off? No. What I'm doing though is I'm actually sharing with my luxury community and people who have a similar like. Not everyone in my real everyday life has an appreciation for these particular items or even understands why I like these particular items. Someone would look at me and say, why are you willing to spend $3,000 on a bag when you can just spend $30 on a bag? Totally. And I have $30 bags and I have less than $30 bags as well. I'm not a bag snob, but if I just happen to like something and I want to share it with other like-minded people, that doesn't necessarily make me a show-off. I'm not necessarily flexing. I'm not necessarily sort of showing off that I can afford to pay $3,000 on a bag. It's just what these prices are. And those of us in the luxe community, we all know that. So although some of us might watch someone's haul or watch someone's reveal and say, damn, that's a lot of money sitting there on the bed behind her or on the shelf behind her. Like, I get that. I've done that. Like, I've worked it out in my mind, but I don't begrudge that person and I don't resent that person for having it. And I don't think, oh, stop showing off with that negative connotation. If anything, I value that and I can appreciate that these items are very expensive, and perhaps that person has worked really hard in order to achieve that particular piece. So look, are we all show-offs? No, I don't think we are. There are a few who are, because let's face it, that's human nature, and some people do want that attention, and some people do want to be praised, where people look at them and say, wow, you're so lucky, look at that. But then again, I equate us in the YouTube community sharing our love for some of these items with people who drive really expensive cars. I don't have an expensive car. I don't know if I will have an expensive car. I just drive a Mazda, and I'm happy with that because I quite like my little Mazda, you know. Now, do I want a Beamer one day? I do. I've always wanted a Beamer, and I've always liked Audis. Will I actually get one? I don't know, because where I'm prepared to spend $3,000 on a bag, I'm not sure if I could spend nearly $100,000 on a car. So I know it's all relative, and I know that there are people who splurge on cars, or who splurge on watches, or who splurge on very high-end jewelry and diamonds and maybe limited edition items of some kind, maybe prints or artwork, or what else could there be? Oh my gosh, I can't think of anything right now at the moment. But like, there are a lot of genres, categories, or collectible categories that people are prepared to spend their money on. Now, to them, it has value. Now, if you were to look up maybe some, I don't know, luxury car community here on YouTube, you would come across many YouTubers who like to talk about and show very expensive vehicles that they've purchased. Maybe there's a luxury jewelry community here on YouTube, and I'm sure there is, because there's everything on YouTube, and they're willing to share and show and talk about the price of very high-end exclusive jewelry. But I don't look at them and say, gee, you're showing off. I look at them and think, wow, how did you come by that? As in, are you born into money? And if you are, God bless. How hard did you have to work to save up for that? Because everything I've purchased, I have saved up for. Nothing has just been handed to me. I've never been sponsored. I've never had a company reach out to me and say, hey, we want to gift you this, you know, insert item here of choice. You know what I mean? Everything that I have bought, I have worked for and I have saved up for. Now, when I say I haven't been gifted, I may have been gifted vouchers, gift cards, money from family, because usually, you know, within the European families, we tend to gift money. I might have been gifted some jewelry items like this one here. This is my Tiffany bracelet, which was purchased with a voucher, which was given to me for my 40th. So yes, I've come across them that way. Do I want to talk about this bracelet and share it with you and talk to you about my Tiffany, you know, return to Tiffany chain bracelet? Yeah, sure. Am I showing off because I have a Tiffany bracelet? No. Why? Because there are other exclusive brands well above Tiffany, let's say, or even within Tiffany. This is silver. There are beautiful, exquisite gold pieces. So I'm not necessarily showing off. What I'm hoping to do is to connect with some people and share my like for these type of things. Now, if I was someone who enjoyed eating out, and I do, by the way, but eating out very regularly, okay, then maybe my channel would be about trying out different restaurants. And if you remember last year, I shared a video with you of other YouTubers that I watch. I don't just watch luxury, because sometimes I must admit, I get a bit bored. I do watch other genres too. And there is a Melbourne duo that my friend introduced me to, and they have an eating channel where they visit various restaurants and they review them, and they show the food and they show them eating it and they talk about it. And I love food, clearly. So, you know, if I was involved in that, well, then I would be doing that type of thing. So now this sort of segues me into sharing with you my YouTube journey. Now, some of you have been with me since day one, and I mean day one, like 2016, day one, when I was known by a different name here on YouTube. And then in 2018, I decided to shut down and stop, let's say, presenting as Luxtopia, simply because the school that I was working in, I had been discovered and some students started following me, and I didn't want that, so I shut that down. I then restarted as Bits and Bags. Now, the reason why I am on YouTube is because it's a hobby, and as I said earlier, I like to share these things and these items with people of similar liking. And I like to think that I'm actually maybe helping some people make a decision either for or against a particular piece. If I do a what fits in my bag, if I do a reveal, if I do my review of a particular piece, then that might help someone choose to go ahead with that item or maybe not. I mean, many of you have told me that because of various things I've shared with you, you've gone out and bought it or you've actually reconsidered it. And I appreciate that because that's feedback. I'm a teacher. I can't help but want to share and want to help people learn about something. It's just inherent within me. So now, why am I on YouTube? As I started to mention just a little bit earlier, I started off back in 2016 here on YouTube because I was going through a very, very dark time, and I had been beaten down, and let's say my self-confidence and my self-esteem were almost negative. And I slowly came across YouTube because my son had jaw surgery and we ended up staying home for a lot of the holidays. And then I started being online more, and then I started coming across videos. I was researching a Michael Kors, what was the name of that bag? Anyway, there was a particular bag that I was interested in and I thought, oh, let me look it up. So looking it up on Google then led me to YouTube, and I started watching reviews, and then I stumbled across luxury, and I stumbled across Minx for All and Jerusha and Nastasia and so many others, the old school people, okay? Snape HBP. Anyway, so I came across these people and I started learning more about luxury items. So then and I've always loved luxury items, but always thought that I couldn't afford them, learned about the pre-loved market. And then that's how I started. And I wanted to share these things with you. Plus, I also did it in order to help me boost and slowly raise my self-esteem. I was in a very, very dark place where I felt worthless and I felt useless other than in my role as homemaker and mother. And I knew at the time, and I'm talking in past tense because I'm referring back to me in that time period, I knew that there was more to me than that. And while that is a very noble and very respectable role to have, because I did it for a long, long time, there was more to me. There was something sort of still eating away at me, more that I wanted to do. And there was a little spark within me that was rebelling against what I was let's say going through. So for me, starting my channel was not to show off. For me, starting my channel was to actually prove to myself that I could. And I actually started off thinking, I'm probably not going to get any more than maybe 20 subscribers. So anyway, there you go. I remember one of my very first ever subscribers was Krista, and I have since become very, very close friends with Krista, and we talk every day. Every day, we talk every day, despite the difference between us, time and distance and everything. So this is my take on showing off YouTube luxury items. I'm not showing off. I'm just wanting to sort of find other like-minded people. I've been told that I'm a show-off. I've been told that I'm materialistic. I've been questioned all the time. Why do you spend so much on a bag? Well, why do you spend so much on whatever it is that your thing is? And if people say, I don't have anything like that, okay, maybe not yet, but eventually you might. And then you might find yourself feeling prepared to spend a certain amount of money on these particular loves or items or pieces and whatever they happen to be. Being on YouTube is not a status symbol, and as you can see, my subscriber count is still quite low despite the amount of time that I've been doing this, and that's okay. But my point is that we're not on YouTube to show off. We're on YouTube for another reason. And my reason is different to anyone else's. Everyone will have their reasons for being here on YouTube. If anything, sharing a lot of our items the way we do, sharing our love for these pieces brings a fair bit of criticism and it brings a fair bit of hate. Now, if I was a show off purely for the sake of being a show off, I wouldn't do it in such an open or on such an open platform as this. I have received some hate. I have received a fair bit of judgment about my enjoyment of these particular pieces and these particular things. Let me say things. But you just got to push through it. Every time I gain new subscribers, I'm partially happy, and then I'm also partially, wow, I wonder who these people are. Oh my gosh, do I really want to have all these people watching me and following me? You know, but then it's a thing. It's a thing. Anyway, so that's my take on it. I hope it wasn't too disjointed and disorganized in my presentation of ideas, because you know me, being a teacher, I like to be very structured. So Andri, thanks for another very probing and potentially controversial question that quite a few of us will address. So if you're interested in seeing any more of my videos, I will have a number of playlists linked below. Please consider subscribing. It would mean a lot to me. So take care, everybody. God bless. And I'll see you next time. Ciao.